Hey guys, Mo here with High Level Boxing, and you guys are going to want to stay tuned for this because we are talking about something super important. Whatever your craft is in life, you need to protect your tools. If you're a soldier, you need to clean and maintain your rifle, your weapons, your gun, all that type of stuff to make sure it's functioning correctly. If you're a painter, you need to take care of your paint brushes and all your different tools to make sure that they are functioning correctly. And especially if you're a fighter and you aspire to be an Olympian, a world champion, you take care of your tools properly. Now, there's lots of different ways to take care and protect your hands over the course of your career, okay? And we're going to discuss a lot of them, but today we're going to talk one of the main reasons I see fighters injuring themselves is they're not properly wrapping their hands during training, specifically during training. We're not talking about a fight, we're talking about everyday training, we're talking about hard training, we're talking about fighters that are training to become national champions, Olympic champions, and world champions one day, okay? So depending on what gym you go to, fighters are going to wrap their hands differently. Coaches are going to tell you how to wrap your hands differently, okay? And there's no wrong way to do it. As long as you're protecting your knuckles, your thumb, and your wrist, you're probably wrapping your hands correctly. It boils down to personal preference, okay? I've had coaches do it one way, I do it another way. I'm going to show you how I do it. Take what I'm teaching you, figure out how it feels for you, make the adjustments that are necessary for you, okay? Because it's personal preference. So I double wrap my hands for training. I always start with Mexican style gauze first, right? So here's what we're going to do. I take this Mexican style gauze, just like this, and I place it down on the inside of my hand from my pinky to my index finger, and I make a fist like this. Then I pull on it to make it, I don't want it too tight, I don't want it to cut off circulation, but I want it to be right over my knuckles, and I want it to be snug, right? Then I open my hand, and I wrap again, tighten it up, make a fist, and I just keep that process going. Now, if my thumb was injured, I'd have more wrap on my thumb. If my wrist was injured, I'd have more wrap on my wrist. But for me, my personal preference is I always like to protect my knuckles a lot more. For some reason, for me, when I'm punching a lot, I get a lot of damage to my knuckles. So I like to keep them protected. So I put a little bit of extra wrap there, okay? Then I go ahead and I just want to make sure that I'm not coming down here over my fingers. I'm not coming over here on the top of my hand. We don't want a sloppy wrap. That's why I make this fist to make sure it's coming right across the knuckles. But once that feels good, now we're going to go down and do the thumb. Where I see a lot of people make mistakes here is they do this loop around the thumb, but then what happens is as they're training, this becomes to fall down like this. And it's uncomfortable, it's sloppy, it's not the way you're supposed to do it, it's not the way I do it. So I'll come around the thumb, but then I come around the wrist, then I come around the thumb, and I come over the top, and we start protecting that thumb. All right, we're gonna clean this wrap up a little bit. Again, come around the thumb, come around the thumb, and look at that. We're getting a nice wrap and protection around our thumb. Now we're gonna go down to the wrist. I'm gonna make sure this is nice and snug, not too tight. If it's too tight, I'm pulling too tight, I loosen it up and I get it to where it feels comfortable. And I just start protecting that wrist. Now, some people only go down like 1 inch below their wrist joint right here. I like to go a little bit further down in the forearm muscles. You know, Felix Trinidad, a fighter that I used to really like, I still really like, was knocking out dudes back in the day, but he used to bring it kind of lower, and then I just tuck it in, okay? That's our under wrap, okay? Got a good under wrap going. But now I'm gonna finish it off with our top wrap. And the top wrap is basically the exact same process, okay? Put my thumb into the wrap like this, and the first thing I'm gonna start with, I come around, I'm gonna start with the knuckles. Same process. Go across the knuckle, making sure everything is real nice and in line. I'm not way down here, way up here. I'm kind of in line with that bottom wrap. Make a fist, make sure it's nice and clean and snug, and I just start wrapping those knuckles from there. Once in a while, I'll just clean it up, make a fist. Boom, that's already starting to feel good. I'm gonna keep wrapping these knuckles here. That's starting to feel good though. So now I'm gonna just follow that last wrap, start to get my thumb Look at that. That's starting to look nice. Okay. All right. Now from here, I like to go through the fingers. Now the reason why I do this is because as I'm punching, I don't want this top wrap to start sliding down my knuckles. So you don't have to go through all the fingers. I usually go through my pinky. I come around. And in this one, I am going to go through all the fingers. Go through my middle finger. Because we got a lot of wrap left, so. And then I come through my index and middle. All right, that's starting to feel good. And now, just like our last wrap, we finish down on the wrist. So I start to clean this up, make it look nice. There we go. And I'm always checking to make sure it's snug, but not too tight. And there we go. We got ourselves a good hand wrap. We're ready to go ahead and train hard, win the next Olympics, win a national championship, go out there, be perfect, win a world championship. Thank you guys for watching.